I'm Don. It's late. I'm up. Hi. Let's watch a movie. Let's get the 1:35 showing of Roadhouse on Max. Last night, when we left our beleaguered hero, me, it was 2:22 in the morning on February 22nd. So what better way to pick up tonight than at the Double Deuce? Am I right? It all ties together. It's like the Marvel Universe up in this mug. So the theme for this week, I usually kind of have themes for these movies I watch. Much like music, movies can be programmed for your mood or for any occasion. And we're at the time of year where we just need comfort food, man. It's boring. We're waiting for spring. There's no real winter to speak of when we get it. It's just in little tiny blips. But same with the nice days. It only shows up in a couple of nice blips here and there. But otherwise, it's just sort of gray. Hey, my friend Brian is here. Welcome, Brian's Masks. All is well. Thank you for asking. I hope all is well with you, my friend. So tonight I thought we would watch another comfort food classic. Last night was macaroni and cheese. This is a big fluffy fleece blanket is what this one is. This is Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse, the original, obviously, not the Jake Gyllenhaal remake. I don't know when you're watching this in the future. Gosh bless you if you are. And certainly not Roadhouse 2 starring Jonathan Scheck. I don't know why he's in that. But anyways, Roadhouse is streaming on Max, or otherwise known as HBO Max, previously in another life. It is an hour and 55 minutes. I'm assuming that's, with credits, probably an hour and 50. So if we get started here in a minute or two, it'll wrap us up right around the 3:30 a.m. Central Time, which means like 4:30 a.m. Eastern. So you folks on the late night are going to be up for a minute. So otherwise, I hope if you're watching this on the replay, that life is treating you well. I always hope for the future to be a better place for you folks. But in general, this is a must-see movie for pretty much everybody in any genre, no matter what type of film you like. If you're staunchly conservative or a real boring person who only watches Disney movies, you still need to watch Roadhouse. It's amazing. Brian says that he loves Roadhouse, and I don't blame him. Roadhouse 3, the Eck. Mr. Echo Zero, welcome, sir. Echo's a classic commentary, watch-along friend. He's frequently in the chats here. Hero to the community. The original Roadhouse was the best, hands down. Yeah, of course. Although I think there was an old school, like from the 40s, that I never saw. But yeah, this is the one I'm going with as well. Let's see here. Hello there, new here, Brittany. Just subscribed. Welcome, Brittany. I'm glad to have you. We are up late here, like a lot of people have trouble sleeping. So we watch movies to keep ourselves company, and this is what we're going to watch tonight is Roadhouse. So for those of you who are not familiar with our friend Brittany Rose Wright, please give her channel a check out, as I will be as soon as I wrap up my Patrick Swayze ripping his throat out thing here. Brian's welcoming folks. That's nice to see. I thought now that it's 1:40 a.m., I think it's a great time to get started. And then, well, it's Roadhouse. If you haven't seen it, see it. Otherwise, let's watch it, man. Roadhouse was made in 1989. It's kind of at the height of Patrick Swayze's Patrick Swayze-ness. Like different people sort of capture the world in film. Different stars become the big thing at any time. And right around Dirty Dancing, this, Next of Kin, I'm trying to think of what else would he have in that window. But Patrick Swayze, he did a turn on Saturday Night Live where he was one of their best hosts ever. He was great on there. So yeah, this is when Patrick Swayze ruled the world. Even his brother, I believe Don Swayze, is that his name? He even got to be in stuff. He's got a real bad guy face, that Patrick Swayze's brother. So here we start off, and I believe it's Manhattan, but we're at the bandstand. And you can see what a fancy place this is. A Ferrari pulls up. We open the movie on a leggy woman walking into a bar as Patrick Swayze's title card pops up, hot pink. the colors of the Night Owl Movie Talk logo for my channel, as well as various other stuff, all in this Roadhouse color scheme. You want to go with the blues, the pinks, the little bit of orange. It just says neon, I'm open. All right. Here's old buddy. I can't even think of his name. The guy that hires Patrick Swayze to come to his Missouri bar, the Double Deuce. Now this band playing in the beginning, is this Tito Tarantula? It sure looks like it. From Dusk Till Dawn and some other Robert Rodriguez picks. I know later on, what's his name? Jeff Healey, is that his name? The blind guitarist. He plays like sit down style. His music kind of steals the show later on. I wanted to find out what is the name of this guy who hires Patrick Swayze to come work at the Double Deuce. Yes, Jeff Healey is the name of that guitarist. There you see people tipping $100 bills. We can understand this is an expensive bar. What is my man's name? Kevin Teague. I know him. He was, I think, Roy was his name on Emergency, I think it was called. It was an old school show about what do you call them? Paramedics, emergency service responders. I don't know, whatever you call them. The people in the ambulance who also put out fires, whatever they are. But as a kid, I only knew him as the, like a emergency responder. So to see him as the older gray-haired guy who owns a Missouri Roadhouse that needs to be cleaned up is strange casting. Here's Patrick Swayze. You can kind of see he's the cooler, and the dudes that work for him, they're the bouncers. And you got to be nice until it's time to not be nice. Let's see. Night Owl in the chat are great people, Brittany. This is a nice, calm place to come. Just chill. I agree. That's what the goal is for. We're up here late at night. We're just trying to relax and have a nice night before we go to bed. And no reason for crazy rowdiness beyond what's going on the screen. What is that? Oh, that's right. Terry Funk is in this. I forgot, the wrestling legend. How could I forget? Yeah, I swear that looks like Tito and Tarantula, or at least Tito. But we can see. Let's find out. Let's Google. What's the name of the band at the beginning of Roadhouse? Be sure to put in the chat or in the comments below when the first time you saw this movie is. And of course, no point in telling me that you love it. We all know that you love it. It's Roadhouse. Roadhouse. Let's see if it's Tito and Tarantula. Cruzados. They never made a... Damn, I'm good. The band playing at the start of the movie is Cruzados. After the band disbanded, lead singer Tito Lariva formed the band Tito and Tarantula. Whew. How many times have I seen Dusk Till Dawn to recognize Tito from Tito and Tarantula by sight? Well, that and I'm stalking him. He has a restraining order against me. So here we see Patrick Swayze. He was cut in by a broken bottle as he was throwing some guys out here in the beginning, and he's in his office stitching himself up. It's one to show that he's tough and that pain don't hurt, but it's also beefcake. We're getting the good lats. You can see the serratus muscles there underneath his pecs. Patrick Swayze, the good amount of muscle. Like, he's not overly beefy in a time of Stallone and Schwarzenegger and all these people, who are massively jacked. He's more like Bruce Lee jacked. He's just super cut up. Speaking of Bruce Lee, he takes on a lot of Bruce Lee's characteristics in this movie as being like the unbeatable, karate man. He does so many kicks in tight jeans. He rivals Chuck Norris for being able to kick in tight jeans. Oh, let's see here. Love the TV show Emergency. Such a classic. Exactly, Brian. That's one that they don't talk about much. It kind of went under the radar, but it was one that used to be on when I was a kid in the morning, and I watched it. I think maybe the other guy was he the dude from Battlestar Galactica, or did I make that up? Hey, Russell, welcome, my friend, or my friends. Hello, Russell. Good morning. Good memory, Night Owl. Emergency. I love. Oh, see, if I knew Russell would know Emergency. Oh, director of photography, Dean Cundy. For those of you not familiar with Dean Cundy, he's a longtime collaborator with John Carpenter. I believe he also did a bunch of Steven Spielberg films. What kind of car did he give him? I forgot to look at it. We see that Patrick Swayze, he pulls up to where his Mercedes is kept in storage. And the guy from Weird Science, the sweet little girl that kicked you in the balls. Oh, man. That guy from the bar, he's sitting out in front of the storage place, and Patrick Swayze tosses him the keys and says, here, the car is yours now. So a good cameo by him, a guy who's mostly just known for having an awesome voice. And we cut to Jasper, Missouri. I'm always tripping that this movie's in Missouri. Like I guess that's where else would it be? You know what I mean? It needs to be a busy enough state where you have people. Because if you said it was like in North Dakota, it's like, well, I don't really believe that enough people go there to cause trouble. But Missouri feels like enough central in the middle of the country where enough folks are coming and going. We see bikers and everybody in here. Produced by Joel Silver. Joel Silver he's the king producer. He's been in all sorts of he's had his fingers in a lot of awesome pies, if that makes sense. Adam 12 was awesome, Russell. Oh, hell yeah. Now they're talking about an old good TV show. And our friend Patrick from Half Cheetah Will View is here. He knows a good film when he's seen one. This is directed by Rowdy Herrington. Let's see what other movies Rowdy did. Rowdy Herrington also did Striking Distance, the uncredited sequel to Die Hard that was originally going to be Die Hard 2, but then for some reason, I don't know, whatever, it never happened. So they just changed the script around and made it Striking Distance. But at one point, yeah, it was supposed to be a Die Hard movie. He also did Gladiator, A Murder of Crows, which actually isn't too bad. Tom Berenger and Cuba Gooding. Jack's Back. I remember that. I believe that was a Jack the Ripper kind of thing. What else did Rowdy Herrington do? It seems like he had other big hits. Nope, just those 5. Oh, those are writers. Where's your director credits? His directing credits are Bobby Jones, Stroke of Genius, Eyewitness, The Stick Up, A Murder of Crows, Striking Distance, Gladiator, 1 episode of Tales from the Crypt, Roadhouse, and Jack's Back. That's it. Rowdy Herrington, not a boy. So here Patrick's Dalton has arrived at the Double Deuce, and his hair is so blow-dried and coiffed, like the amount of hairspray he has in his hair probably caused global warming on its own. We see the people dancing. It's got the classic cage around the bar like they had in Blues Brothers. Here's the bleach blonde bimbo. The women in this movie are kind of amazing. Like it's incredibly stereotypical. Like they don't really do women a lot of favors in this movie, and that's part of the reason guys love this movie. It's simple. You don't need a good deep think for this one. So here's this blonde bimbo. She's the the town hottie. She hangs out with the bad guy, Brad Wesley, I think his name is. And later on we'll meet the doctor. She's the good girl. And then there's the friend-zoned bartender who's also a singer. She shows up in this too, and she's kind of awesome. You can tell she's cool. Julie Michaels plays Denise that we're looking at right now here. The friend-zoned girl is Kathleen Wilhoit. She's awesome. She's in a bunch of stuff. Yeah, there she is right there. Speak of the devil. And there's Terry Funk's first appearance. Terry Funk was a professional wrestler. He's kind of famous for wrestling until he was way old. He was in the WWF at this time back like in the 80s when Hulk Hogan, big deal. And right around the time he got big on television and they made a wrestling doll for him, the big heavy LJN figure, he decided he just left Vince McMahon a note one day that said, "I need to go see about a sick horse," and just left wrestling. He walked away from it. I believe he was also in Over the Top around this same time with Sylvester Stallone. He was in another movie with Sylvester Stallone, Paradise Alley. Is that what it was called? The one about the professional wrestlers back in the 70s that he did before Rocky. Classic scene. On the wall, it says, "For a great FUCK call," and it has a phone number. And then he changes FUCK to BUICK. So for a great Buick call. So the movie's just brilliant on many levels. It's well written all around. Let's see here. Youngblood was a really good hockey movie. Yeah, that's another one around this time with Patrick Swayze where he was owning the world. Patrick Swayze falls into the like Rob Lowe category of handsome, almost so pretty he could be an honorary woman. Like he's just a beautiful person. Like he's got a glow about him. There's Jeff Healey. I feel bad that he's only just known as blind guitarist, but he's just good. He's got real soulful jams to him. And this is the part where Dalton kicks everybody's ass, and then my man says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Dalton." Somebody must have just whispered in his ear. I don't know how he knew. Maybe he smelled Patrick Swayze's cologne from there. Julie was only 18 when she did Roadhouse. Really? Yikes. I feel bad for calling her the blonde bimbo. That never meant she's just straight eye candy in this then. She famously, her character is basically there to just be hot and seduce Patrick Swayze, and then he's just like shows he's above it. And then later on, she gets abused and has like a black eye, and that makes us hate the bad guy even more. She's basically a set piece as a woman. Patrick in Next of Kin. Yeah, that one's a good one as well. Next of Kin. He remembers Don Swayze. Yeah, Don Swayze, it's weird that Patrick has such leading man charisma, but Don Swayze has such like I say, villainous charisma. He just looks like a bad guy. Same with I can't think of his name now. The guy who was Billy Drago. Like as soon as you see his face, you're just like, oh, you look like a villain. Like I don't know how anyone ever, had any kind of friendship with him. As soon as you meet him, you look like you're going to mug me. And I love this bartender. He's great. He's got the crappy, greasy mustache and the greasy hair. Later on, we see him skimming from the bar or the till. Here's the classic part where a guy, "Hey man, for $20 you can kiss my wife's boobs or whatever." Then he just starts feeling her up, and he's like, "Well, you gonna kiss him?" He's like, "I ain't got $20." Like I said, just Oscar-worthy writing in this movie. Fantastic. The bartender was John Doe, who formed one of the best punk bands ever in X. That's where I know this guy from. Okay, I was like, what else have I seen him in? He's the lead singer of X. There you go. Patrick always bringing the good heat, man. That's my guy. Jeff was a hell of a slinger. Jeff Healey is great. Like I never owned any of his music, but like the times I've seen him, obviously in this, and I think he used to do gigs on like late night talk shows and stuff because he's a bit of a freak, check out the guy who's blind yet just jams on guitar, the Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles thing. We're amazed that this person learned talent beyond what most people would consider a handicap. So now it's just a full-on bar brawl. Like I look down to type some things, and then here we are. We're back to everyone everywhere fighting. Russell says he met Jeff Healey years ago. Nice person in a bar. Oh, wow. Yeah, he like I said, I've seen him on other stuff. I think maybe I've even seen him on like Ellen DeGeneres show and stuff. So there we see the bar fight is so out of control that one of the dudes even punches a woman. Sheesh. Billy Drago is an all-star villain. Exactly. Some people just have that look about him, man. Oh, Russell used to be a punker too. That's my guy. Me as well, my friend. Me as well. I like that, as I called her, friend-zoned girl, the bartender who sings later on, Kathleen Wilhoit. She's like everybody's friend in this movie. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't get along with her. She gets along with Denise. She gets along Patrick Swayze as soon as he shows up. Obviously, she gets along with Jeff Healey. This Patrick, wow, Terry Funk is just straight press slamming some guy in the background, like Ultimate Warrior style. There we see John Doe handing out ice packs. What's my man's name who's super sleazy? The guy who's he gets fired. The one who's like, "You gonna be my regular Saturday night thing?" Gary Hudson. Oh, what else is Gary in? As I recall, he was in a bunch of like Skinamax type movies, like Late Night. He was kind of a softcore porn hunk guy. He was in the 50 Shades movies. There you go. Of course he was. He did a bunch of TV, Suits and Rizzoli and Idols. And he did a movie called Girl Walks Into a Bar. How appropriate. He was in a movie called Dancing Ninja. Good for him. Murder in My House, A Lover's Revenge, The Snake King, Deception, Tarzan. Yeah, my man's everywhere. He gets around. Not a boy. So here we see an answer to the whole thing we saw up at the beginning, where what's going on with Patrick and these cars he gives away. So we see him in a car lot buying a car that he can afford to get beat up because he knows his car is going to get trashed in his job. That's part of the weird thing with this story is he knows the future. He's lived this story before, and he kind of knows, I'm assuming from Sam Elliott later, just what's going to happen in his life. So he's prepared right from jump. Some actors do have that look of villain type, like Jack Nicholson. Yeah, Jack always, whenever Jack's in the lead or plays a good guy, I always wait for him to turn because he has that, those eyebrows and that forehead. I booked John Doe for a show and then sold merch for him. I was in awe. Wow, Patrick, you got good stories, man. Brian says he met the Warrior before. Was it before he'd had his full meltdown? At one point, he was kind of like, the big star in the world. And then he just, there's all these documentaries and stuff about how he kind of ruined his own life with his ego and stuff. So later on, he became like a offensive type, far right wing political commentator. And he would go around to colleges and disparage the gay community and talk about anti-Martin Luther King stuff. I think he was just trying to get heat back then. Like, I don't really know if you can get heat being a jerk. A rose by any other name. Russell, you romantic, knowing Shakespeare in my chat, you. It was an X, the John Doe experience. I was not aware of that. Thank you, Russell. I'm glad to be back in action. Yes, the Warrior imploded indeed. And he also exploded, man, on them roids. He was more jacked up than anybody. But he did cheat. I think even as a kid, we all knew he cheated with the little strappies around his arms to make his biceps look more ridiculous, give you that delt definition like you need. Here, Patrick Swayze is straight living the dream. I think this is what anybody anywhere would just like to do. It's like, I want to pay real low rent for a beautiful open air farmhouse on a ranch next to a lake. Do you know how hard it is to find a good apartment anywhere, let alone the square footage of this top of this barn? Oh, Brad Wesley, you jerk, flying a helicopter by horses. You know that's going to rile them up. Some people, I swear. I see my Wi-Fi signal every now and then bops down to 1 bar. So if at any point you get the little circle, or if I go black, I'll pop back as soon as I do. Sometimes we have these issues here late at night. That's one of the problems about doing stuff late at night is you get both cable companies and internet companies do their maintenance in the middle of the night. Not to mention, like there, I just saw a black spot go by, so I probably dropped out for a sec. A lot of maintenance, a lot of like uploads for programming and things like that, adjustments to their new updates and stuff they put up in the middle of the night when people are sleeping. It's one of the great things you get to see when you're around when no one else is. It's like when you go into a restaurant at the end of the night and you see them mopping and stuff. It's like, oh, wow, getting the behind the scenes look. So here he says he'll take it. I'm waiting to see what the rent is. He says he's had 20 people pass on that room in the past year. Primarily just because they don't like the smell of farm. Give me a break. Yeah, I don't know. How close is it to the dookie? When the wind blows, does your house smell like horse poop? Let's stick up the Warrior and give him some Golden Trump tennis shoes. Yeah, those, what are they? Never Escape or whatever the hell they're called. Warrior was a bleeding joke. Yeah, that's around the time I quit watching wrestling. When I was a little kid, I liked, the Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Mr. T stuff. That got me paying attention. And then when Paul Orndorff turned on Hulk Hogan, it blew my feeble mind as a little kid. And I was hooked on the soap opera of wrestling. But then around the time Hulk Hogan went on to do movies and Ultimate Warrior became the new big guy and they phased out Macho Man, I had to quit watching. It just wasn't my thing anymore. That's when they went to everybody having an occupation. It was dumb. It's like, this guy's a plumber and this guy's an ice skater. So here's the part where Patrick Swayze's talking to the people at the bar, the folks who works there. First thing before he even starts his speech is he fires Terry Funk. And there's the classic line of, well, what am I supposed to do? He's like, there's always barber college. But this is good writing here, though, too, because we see Terry Funk as a part of the good guy crew, and he gets, excommunicated from the good guys. And then he immediately goes and joins the bad guy crew, which makes sense. That feels like a good thing. He remembers being so surprised to see Kevin Teague in this movie. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it Teague or Teague? I don't know how you pronounce it. But yeah, like I say, he's a character actor who's been in so much stuff. I feel like I know him as soon as I see him, but I'm never quite familiar with his work. He's just like a friendly face. Mr. One members. Let's see here. Old commercial asking a woman which shake paper her husband would pick. Yeah, I do remember that. Patrick Swayze's got the sweet, like, spit curl, like Superman in front. And then when he turns his head, you get the little dealy there. He's got the golden mullet. That's like the perfect mullet. That's the kind I like. I like the full coiffed hockey player mullet. I don't like the one where it's buzzed on top and then it looks like a waterfall in back. That's not my mullet. That's and I like that the owner of the bar has big plans to renovate the bar, primarily just putting up a new sign. Like there's like 3 different blueprints and they're all just pictures of the new sign. I don't think he understands interior design all that well. Terry Funk played a good guy in a short-lived Western called Broadside around this time. I didn't know that. Terry Funk, I actually never even really cared for him until ECW, WCW days when he was like in his 50s and still wrestling and doing moonsaults. That's when he was kind of awesome. All-time favorite wrestler, Hot Rod, even made me a playlist. Yeah, Roddy Piper was my favorite too. I always liked him just because he was so funny. And I thought Mr. T was okay, but when he got into wrestling, to see Roddy Piper just hassle him was awesome. Here's another classic line where he's going around hassling all the people who work for him. And the one guy says, well, what if somebody calls my mama a whore? And he goes, is she? Good stuff. Good stuff. Even in captions, this movie is just comforting. That's what I say. This is comfort movie, comfort food movie. It's a warm blanket as soon as I see it. Why did they make Jeff Healey come to the bouncer meeting? What does now we want you to sing less aggressive, make people be chill. Like, what would he possibly have to contribute to this conversation? Just sit there and stare off at space. And now we cut to him jamming. And he is too, man. He with the guitar on his lap and he rocks out, man. He's jamming. Pleasant night, Sean. Oh, hey. Sorry, laying in bed to go to sleep soon. Runs to see you, Sean. This is our friend Cinephile Sanity, the another great watch-along partner. For those of you who are a fan of these watch-alongs, I recommend you go to Cinephile Sanity's channel. He's previously known in another life as Sean Blue Digital, so if you're familiar with the work of Sean Blue Digital. But there we see John Doe skimming from the till, too. And Patrick Swayze gives him a mean look. Ooh, you're going to get punched, sir. Piper's Pit was funny stuff. Yeah, it was. Yep. Is she? He knows. Well, that's what I often think, like when somebody insults you, like, it's only an insult if you actually believe, like if you trust the word of whoever's saying you. Somebody calls you a mean name. It's like, well, I don't care what you think. You know what I mean? Like, are you speaking the truth? Is my mother a whore? Wow, that escalated quick. The young bouncer tried to break up a fight, and some dude pulled a switchblade after one punch. And that's the part where Patrick Swayze breaks the table by busting his face into it. This movie is like just so dumb, it's brilliant. Like the logic of a bunch of it just doesn't work. But, I don't think you could crack a table like that by busting somebody's face into it. I'm sure the guy's orbital bone would crack before the mahogany table would. Piper's Pit was pretty cool. Yeah, Piper's Pit's where he busted Jimmy Snuka over the head with a coconut, and I think he got in a fight with Morton Downey Jr. Or, like, I don't know, he was all over the place. But mainly Piper is obviously the awesomest from They Live and Hell Comes to Frogtown. There's the classic scene where they're in the they're in the storage room, and dude's getting it on. He's like, "Oh, you gonna be my regular Saturday night thing?" And he walks in the middle of them humping and is like, "All right, you're fired." And he's like, "But I'm on break." Just like every scene is a classic where we're let's get a timestamp here. We're approximately half hour in, as the line says, about every 30 minutes. There's 125:43 left. Unfortunately, Max is one of these channels that only shows us the countdown timer. So yeah, we're at 125:40, 125:35. John Doe has a real Bill Paxton vibe to him. I think they might have been brothers in a previous life. But this is really well. I'm looking at the framing of it. Like it's shot in a widescreen format, a presentation. It's got the letterbox at the top and the bottom, so it's a bigger spread out. What's it, 2x35, 2:3:5 format, which is what a lot of Westerns were shot in. That's why Carpenter shoots in the wide format, because he loved all those old school Westerns, and they used this wide format to see like the open plains. And this is obviously a type of a cowboy movie. It's a modern day, 20, 30 years ago, modern day cowboy movie. Dalton is the hero that rides into town and cleans up the bad place, and then he moves on. He's Shane, except better ending for him. And we see the first time Patrick Swayze's car is destroyed. He goes outside, and all four tires are slashed, antennas busted. Oh, let me see here. I see the chat blowing up again. Terry and Mick had insane matches just about wherever they worked. Echo knows. Has Keith David appeared yet? Actually, does Keith David appear in this? Or does he just fight the whole time? But welcome, Gareth, my friend. For those of you who are familiar with the show, you have to drink when our friend Gareth shows up. So he's across the Atlantic Ocean, so for him it's the morning time. So for us here, it's nighttime. It's 2:16 in the morning, or 2:10 in the morning. Geesh, I'm already misreading the clock. It's that late. Another classic, memorable scene. Their bar's closed for the night, so it's obviously like 3 in the morning, and Patrick Swayze's in his loft looking across at the bad guy. And he can not only see the mansion across the pond, he can see like everybody's faces and hear dialogue. It's like, damn, you are Superman. Oh, hello, Gareth. Nice to see you, sir. There's a Piper soda called Rowdy Piper Bubblegum Soda. I need to make hands on it someday. I would like to try the Rowdy Piper soda. Does it make you act like him? Professor, welcome, my friend. Greetings and salutations. So we got the, I didn't want to miss it. Here's the part where a friend-zoned bartender shows up and she brings him breakfast, coffee and a bagel or whatever. And Patrick Swayze, of course, sleeps nude. So he gets out of bed and she gets the butt shot and she's overcome with his Swayze-ness. Brittany's welcoming Gareth. Everybody's welcoming Gareth. We all love Gareth. He tells everyone here to get to bed. Never mind, we don't love Gareth. How dare you, sir? Last Friday, I watched Wild Things with Gareth on his channel. So if you're a fan of these watch-alongs, I believe there's a link on my front page of my channel. But otherwise, be sure to go to Gareth and subscribe and see his whole collection of watch-alongs, his daily output of physical media info and top 10, or is it top 5 breakdowns of each year. I think he does both. Oh, man, this movie just keeps hitting you with hit after hit after hit. Here's where Ben Gazzara is driving up and down the street and he's swerving from lane to lane singing Life Could Be a Dream. And you just understand what a jerk he is by how he acts like he owns the road. Like, it's very simple, but at the same time, so smart. Oh, it's 1:11 a.m. there. Ooh, so you're time. Look at you. Yeah, I'm based out of Wisconsin, so I'm by Milwaukee and Chicago. So for us here, it's 2:15. Mikey's Morgue says, you don't have insurance, don't you? I watched this many times. I recently brought the Vinegar Syndrome set. It's fantastic. And hey, Don. Hello, Mikey's Morgue. Our friend Mike is another awesome YouTuber. I only invite awesome YouTubers to my chat. Mikey frequently is up in the middle of the night. He works late also, so sometimes he's watching as he works. No wonder they were going to change the sign. The old Double Deuce sign sucks. Here we see Red West, who played by Red Webster. That's good writing. Another character in this movie who's only here to get beat up. Like he's just a victim in this movie. That's what he exists for. He owns the Napa Auto Parts. And later on, Brad Wesley shows up and makes his life terrible. Russell says, I came here to smoke bud and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. And then I guess you're going to smoke bud, my friend. Professor, what time stat you on? I'm booting up my DB of Roadhouse right now. Let me see where I'm at, sir. There is 1:19:40 left. So since it's an hour and 57, I'm assuming, what's that, 47 minutes in, maybe? Yeah, here Ben Gazzara comes in. Ben Gazzara is most known as Gandhi, I believe, right? He was also in Sexy Beast, I think it was called. He's really good in that. 133 acting credits for Ben Gazzara. I love the opposite number. This guy's great. The dude that gets his throat ripped out at the end. He's like, you can tell him and Patrick Swayze just line up as soon as they see each other. Like, this movie's going to play to a fight at them at the end. It feels like a kung fu movie or something. They kind of like look each other up and down when they see one another. And here's Patrick Swayze in the yard at the ranch doing Tai Chi next to the pond. Just as the owner of the farm realizes that he drives a Mercedes and he keeps it hidden in the barn. He's understanding there's more than meets the eye with this guy. Same later on when he has to go to the doctor, or he gets stabbed or whatever, and he has to go get the staples from Kelly Lynch. And in his medical records, it tells his college, it's like, you studied philosophy? Why would that be in your medical history? But yeah, there he is doing Tai Chi. Ben Gazzara is looking at him like, you fool. Who dare would do strange, slow ballet kung fu against no one? And Patrick Swayze's like, have you seen me shirtless? I just do this in the grocery store sometimes when I get bored. Leave with 5 numbers. Hey, that's good continuity. With he's all oiled up and doing his son kung fu thing, and we can see in one of his lats, where I was talking about before, where the serratus muscles and the pec line up against his lat, you can see the stitches from that first scene. So they made sure to put that scar in. That's pretty good, or at least that's an awesome transfer that we can see that. But thank you, Professor. I'm glad that you're watching along. Oh, Mikey's Morgue says that he isn't Russell's favorite channel. Don't start a fight, you two. Oh, everybody's welcoming one another. It's always nice when the folks show up here. Oh, Brittany's in Arizona. There you go. So, yeah, I guess mountain time. Morgue points out the double douche. Yeah, I was thinking about Sam Elliott earlier. There's a sign at the bar I'm at in the bathroom that says, don't eat the big white mint. So stupid. What's up, all you sexy peeps? Not the face, not the face. Patrick says Red West was in Baba Black Sheep with Robert Conrad. Here we go. Here's where John Doe, big Bowie knife on Patrick Swayze. And we should have known that something was going to happen because Patrick Swayze's wearing the white cotton dress shirt. Whenever anybody in a movie wears a white, it's usually a sign that blood is going to happen. Tarantino understands that. Anytime some character gets near white, you know, uh-oh. Damn, so Tiny cuts him. He slashes his side, and it's the same exact spot he got cut in to start the movie. Pierced in the side like Jesus in RoboCop. All right, now Patrick Swayze and the dude are fighting, and they're just all the way down into the down into the band pit. The guy he's fighting with is like a big dude, but he looks like no match for Patrick Swayze. So I'm assuming that's why they had to cut him first. It's like, well, we got to handicap Patrick. Speaking of opposite numbers, the bad guys have a big heavy-set dude, Tiny. And then the good guys have a big heavy-set dude. But the two heavy-set dudes never fight. Like the two cuddly teddy bear guys. I want to see them in a fight. And now we go to the doctor. What is going on at this hospital? The doctor's hot. The 3 nurses are hot. The candy striper's hot. What Missouri town is this? And how do I get chicken pox there? Or whatever would make me go to the doctor. Yeah, I'll be damned. The face is powerful. The face is painful to hit on. I don't know. Patrick Swayze keeps getting hit on this whole movie. Here's pain don't hurt, the classic line. Yeah, Patrick he not real overly muscular. Like, I don't think he's probably stronger than the average like person who lifts weights, but he's just very like cut. He must have had a good protein diet back then or something. Don, spoilers. Let's see here. Russell, if you were talking about Don, then yes, me, no. Oh, you guys. Ben was a big star back in the 60s, Patrick says. Yeah, like I say, my favorite role of his is probably Sexy Beast because he plays such a mean guy. Kind of an interesting dinner party type crime drama, which is a weird mashup. Oh, Wolverines. Yeah, he's Patrick Swayze. He's also great in Red Dawn. She asked about what philosophy he studies. He says, man's search for faith, that type of shit. So, he's down to earth as well read. It's amazing he's got so much armpit hair, yet he's hairless everywhere else. I don't know. His manscaping is immaculate. I don't know how he pulls it off like that. I probably first saw Roadhouse. I never saw this in the theater. I saw this when it came out on VHS. I'm sure I saw it on VHS first. It used to go theater, airplane, and hotels, then VHS, then cable. Somewhere, I think before VHS or around VHS is when you would get pay-per-view. So yeah, you kind of knew the release dates of it. So I'm pretty sure I caught this guy, unless we had the cable black box back then. I'm pretty sure this was a VHS renter. Man, speaking of pretty, since I went on about how pretty Patrick Swayze is, I think it's only fair to go on about how pretty Kelly Lynch is. This movie is just full of pretty people. Even Sam Elliott, when he shows up, he looks like an old beat down, haggard, bar drunk, still pretty as hell, that hair, right? And then the bad guy that Swayze fights later, and then spoiler alert, that guy, pretty. Speaking of that guy, he's another dude who looks like a villain. He's got villain face. But the sequel to Roadhouse 2 stars Jonathan Sheck, who's in a bunch of stuff, and he's got bad guy face too. He's got the Don Swayze face, like he's just a natural Billy Drago bad guy. But I like that the guy that gets his throat ripped out, he's got like a Native American kind of necklace deal with like a shark's tooth on it, which doesn't make any sense why he would have like a shark's tooth and a turquoise necklace. But I think that's supposed to show he's got like some spiritual mojo. In the 80s, people were real fascinated by the Native American spiritualism. They know magic. I rewound the part where Dalton fights Jimmy at the end so many times I wore the VHS tape out. Yeah. I think I always wanted to get a better look at the throat rip. Because you can kind of see it. Like, that's what I'm wondering now, if I could see that scar on his lat so good later on when he gets his throat ripped out, we might get a good look at it. Tinker. I called him Tiny. Never mind. Same thing. The bad guy with the big belly and the red suspenders. I think later on, that's the one at the end. He's the only bad guy that lives, and the big grizzly bear falls on him. And they're like, what happened to you? And they're like, bear fell on me. Patrick says, pain don't hurt. It don't. So the big guy that I was talking about, who puts up a decent fight against Patrick Swayze, more so than I would have suspected, is Brad Wesley's just not having it. He's kicking his ass. He's punch spot right off him. I also thought he said, don't eat the big white men when I was a kid. I thought that too, Mikey, because he says it in such a funny way where he's like, there's a sign that says, don't eat the big white man. Yeah, I've thought that before too. If it wasn't for captions, I wouldn't know. And then you kind of understand. It's like, oh, this is a urinal cake joke, which means like 51% of the audience won't get it, because why would a woman know what a urinal cake is? Oh boy. Great on-screen fight. Named Tiny. Poor Tiny. All synced up. Hello, nurse, or in this case, hello, sexy doctor. So here Patrick Swayze goes into the auto parts store. And once again, he's wearing a white linen shirt, but it's no buttons. So it's folded over, and it looks like a karate gi. So every time they show him from like the shirt up or the chest up, he looks like he's like a white belt or something. Oh, that's right. So he goes into the Napa store once again, and Red Webster's working in there. And on the wall, he sees the hot doctor. And I think he figures out that's what, like his niece or something? Because we all put a picture of our hot niece up in our store. I love her. She's like a daughter to me. Well, Way hotter than my daughter. That's why I put a picture of her up. But in this transfer, you can see why he's Red West or whatever, Red Webster. He's red. Wow, those are bad fake boobs. So we're seeing Sam Elliott at his place of business, the Don't Eat the Big White Man. Yeah, that's good hair. I think every dude who grows his hair out thinks it's going to look like Sam Elliott in Roadhouse, and we all end up sadly mistaken. Same with a mustache. Every time I grow a big mustache out and the hair covers my lip, I'm like, oh, I bet I look like Sam Elliott. And then I see a picture of me and I'm like, no, I don't. I look like a crazy homeless person. No disrespect to crazy homeless people. Yeah, here's where they have the wet G-string contest to show what a raunchy bar it is. And Patrick Swayze's calling him from the payphone at the laundromat because we needed to open this up for scope. You know, he didn't want to be in his loft. So let's go over to the colorful laundromat. Mikey's more excited. I should be able to stay a little longer. I'm on a gravy train, biscuit wheels at work tonight. Oh, yeah. Got to prepare some rum and coke. Got to have a drink while watching Roadhouse. You're damn right you do. I haven't taken a pull yet. I need to take a few of Rocky's Revenge. Once again, we're drinking. That's the local beer dedicated to the Rock Lake sea monster, Rocky. You can see him attacking the boat there. So here now they've got the friend-zoned bartender singing. They've already taken down the cage. They've put up the new sign. They painted the place. They retiled it. They took down the cage. And now they're singing knock, knock, knock on wood. You know what I mean? We didn't even need a montage. We just one cut and we were already at where we're at. I can't believe she's 18, Patrick. Every time I look at her, that's amazing. I mean, I guess. I don't know how old women are when they're in Playboy or whatever. Aren't they usually under 25? But yeah, that she's way too young to be looking like that. Let's see here. Bigfoot, the monster truck, not the cryptid. Yeah. I saw Bigfoot go by. This was another thing in the 80s was the monster truck. Yeah, here he is, the monster truck. People don't really have that anymore. I don't know. For a while, that was like a big thing. They were trying to make monster trucks like professional wrestling. Most of us knew who Grave Digger and Bigfoot and oh god, what was the green one? The Swamp Thing, something like that. I can't remember. Once again, so Patrick Swayze's he's standing at the bar, and four of the bad guys come in, and before anybody even realizes they're there, Patrick Swayze's already scoped them out and noticed right boot has a knife in it. Oh my god, that is bad special effects. When he kicks his foot up, it looks like a Muppet or something. Like he bends his leg. You can tell it's like a total fake leg. It looks like something out of Kung Pao. That's a funny bit of business. He pulls the boot with the knife off on it and then throws it up on the roof. So now we have to imagine that the guy who had his knife boot taken away has to walk home with like one shoe, just defeated. You can tell this is a man's movie because right now there's probably 50 people on screen and approximately 10 of them have this same denim shirt on, and then another 10 have the same black t-shirt that Dalton has on. Because why would you own anything other than a denim shirt or a black t-shirt? That's it. You got something for a funeral and you got something dressy. That's all you need. Oh, hell no. Kelly Lynch has the same haircut as Patrick Swayze. She's doing the Superman thing. That must have been 1989 must have been the year of the spit curl, I guess. Where are we at with you folks in the chat? A polar bear fell on me. That's what it is. Watching an old video of Donahue and Ringo Starr ex-wife Barbara Bach. I didn't know he was married to Barbara Bach. Were they in, what's that, Caveman or something? Weren't they in some sort of prehistoric movie together, maybe? Barbara Bach, The Unseen, and The Black Belly of Tarantula, 2 awesome movies she's in. I haven't seen The Black Belly of the Tarantula. That sounds good. It's a title I'm interested in. So now Patrick Swayze and the Doc are out at a diner, and the drunk at the counter starts to fall asleep, and Patrick Swayze holds him up. So that's how we know he's a good guy. Like, he's not necessarily mean. He's trying to look out for people. He's nice until it's time not to be nice, as they say. Yes, and loved Caveman, Mikey. See, they know. God bless the 80s and its random shots of boobs, right? Like, I try to explain that to people. 80s movies have a whole bunch of like they treat women really bad in 80s movies, mainly just because they need excuses to get them naked. So like some sort of assault always works, or some sort of like, prostitution or strip club scene. Like, we always just have to randomly work it in. The Pornhub killed the booby star in video. Like, movies used to always try to have boobs because it would be a thing that would make people interested. And now it's like, we swim in a lagoon of porn these days. There's no point in the random boob shots like there used to be. Roger Corman had this amazing whole like system where he knew you only need like 2 women to show their be topless. One of them has to be topless twice. You can get away with just showing 1 boob. You preferably want to have the boobs at like the 10-minute mark, and then maybe like the 20-minute mark, and then once again at like the hour mark. And those 3 are all you need for a person's mind to think, oh, there's boobs all throughout this whole movie. This is filled with nudity and sex. Like, Corman had it down to like a mathematical science. But he also knew like the length of the movie, so it would be just the right amount of film canisters, so it would cost less for shipping. Like, he's a genius. He knew all the tricks. There's a funny scene. She drops him off at work, or where his car is back at work, and it's destroyed once again. And this time there's a stop sign just speared into the side of the car. So he's letting her a goodnight kiss and talking as he's pulling the giant stop sign out of his car. That's funny stuff. I don't know. You can get me with childish humor in this movie. I wish I was that cool. I mean, I probably am. I just don't try it. He's spending his afternoon laying on the hood of his own car looking at the sun. I mean, I guess he works nights, but I work nights too. You don't see me out at like 4 p.m. just like lounging on the Nissan. I miss the 80s dearly, Mikey says. Yeah. Ghost. Yeah, I would say probably Ghost. I think more people probably like Dirty Dancing. Like I say, his entire oeuvre in this area, this like period of time, is when he was really just killing it. Next of Kin, Youngblood. He'd already done Red Dawn, this. But to be in Ghost, this, and Dirty Dancing, that's 3 like almost totally different movies, and he holds them together. He's the glue in all of those movies. Even, I mean, I guess Demi Moore's haircut in Ghost kind of steals the show a little bit, but in general, Patrick Swayze, he's the man. That crazy science teacher from Fast Times at Ridgemont High teaches him how to be a ghost, like cacking the bottle cap and stuff. Russell says they missed the 60s. That's a good one. I've seen Ghost once. Good movie. Yeah, Ghost is interesting. It's as far as ghost movies go, it's a departure. Like it's got a lot of ghost lore and mythology of like how, the paranormal activity stuff works, but it's, a romance and a bit of a comedy. Here's where Brad Wesley is explaining what an impact he's had on this little jerkwater town. And he's like, hell, J.C. Penney is coming here because of me. It's like, man, talk about ego. You want a reenactment clay scene with Whoopi Goldberg? Yeah, I would actually like to see you guys do that. Let's get a little Unchained Melody going in here. Prospect Place Willie. All right, pop quiz, hot shots. Would you rather be cool and suave as Dalton or all macho and gruff as Sam Elliott? Well, Dalton has the same thing going. I was talking about it with Gareth when we were watching Wild Things. Matt Dillon in that movie, like he gets the script and he just reads from page 1. Every woman on earth wants to sleep with you. And that's the same thing in this. Like Dalton, he's like the world's most desired man. Like no matter where he goes, the women are just like fainting at him. But I'm personally, especially at the age I'm at, I'd rather be Sam Elliott. Get the cool hair. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Whoopi and Sam Elliott in Fatal Beauty with Brad Dourif. That's the one I was trying to think of last night. I brought it up, weird movies that you completely forget about, and they just pop into your head. Whoopi Goldberg was in a bunch of them. Jumpin' Jack Flash and what was it? Theodore Rex, I think. Soft and cuddly like Tinker. Tinker is cuddly. Fatal Beauty is a good movie. Nice call, Russell. Yeah, that's the one where Whoopi Goldberg has like green eyes, I think maybe. Like she has contacts, but her like she does it for a couple movies. Then after that, like she rocks some sort of weird like eye contacts, and her face looks like, I don't know. She holds the screen better because she's so weird looking. Weird looking in a good way. Man, they have cleaned the Double Deuce up. And the time it's taken me to drink this beer down to the label, this bar is someplace I would frequent. Patrick Swayze has a V-neck sweater on, and the V goes down to his kneecaps. If that V was any deeper, it'd be classified as a sinkhole. Sheesh. It's like a cardigan with no buttons. That's a diss no one ever gets anymore. Nice shirt. It looks like a cardigan with no buttons. PETA would have a field day with all the dead animals as fuckers mounted in his house. Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's brutal. Oh, PETA videos on YouTube is so sad. Yeah, they are sad. So now Kevin Teague or whatever you say his name, he's walking around his bar. There's David Keith. I thought he was the replacement bartender, but he's not in the IMDb top like 10 names they show off. So I forgot that was him. Same with I was watching Juice the other day on TV, the old Tupac movie, and it's like, oh, there's Samuel L. Jackson. I completely forgot he had like a little cameo in this. Man, David Keith has gravitas. They fired the punk rock singer, the Bill Paxton looking dude, John Doe, and he had looked sleazy right from jump with the bad stash and everything. They bring David Keith in. He's got the tucked in polo and the glasses, and he's mixing the drinks like a Mr. Wizard. He looks like a professor with beakers. Makes zero sense, but I still use the phrase drain the main vein when it makes me sad. No one gets the reference. Yeah, I often use the Samuel Elliott. This movie had a bunch of influences on me. I never noticed it until about a year ago. But when I see someone I kind of sort of know, like a friend who's a friend, like a neighbor, or maybe somebody who I've had a conversation with, and you see him down a long way, people at work and stuff, and I give him and I realized that's totally Dalton. My mind just does that automatically to folks. That salute wave thing. I don't know. It just stuck. These two look too much alike to have the sex they have. Like, just now looking at them, they look like brother and sister. It's sort of creepy. It's a real Return of the Jedi vibe. What an idiot she is for a doctor. She walks over to the window and she opens up like these big floor to ceiling glass doors and realizes Brad Wesley, her old ex or whatever, lives across the pond. You didn't know where you were? The town's like 10 miles big. Like, I thought all this looked familiar. I'm so busy doctoring, I'm just stupid. It's probably all that hairspray. She's walking around with the wings and the frock. He's got the frock with the thing. Oh, he's stalking her. You two are going to get it on. Keith David spotted. There we go. Juice is awesome. Mikey knows. David Keith and Keith David should do a movie together. They should. Didn't David Keith pass away, I think? I don't know. PETA undercover videos are so sad. PETA art videos are sad. People should be nice to animals, damn it. So now these two are getting ready to get it on. They're slow dancing, you know. Listening to some old, 50s kind of Motown music. Basically the same as on Jane Medley. They're trying to pre-create that moment. Wow, what a freaknik. They haven't even kissed yet. She's already unzipped his pants and stuck her hands down there. It's like, I mean, I understand, a woman's got needs, but, can you at least kiss first? Can I get a hug? Go right for the dong. Geesh, give me a break. Sorry, you can tell this one entrances me. These two are pretty hot together, even though they do look too much alike. It's creepy. And they do a good job of like just showing like, neck up to head or maybe just like some shoulders. If he's getting it on with her right now, his junk needs to be like 4 feet long. Like her pelvis is up here. There is no way. See, this is how women get false expectations of romance. This is not how this stuff works. No, just pick me up against a fireplace. In real life, she'd be like banging her head against a rock and her back would be all scratched up and shit. But in a movie, it's like, no, that's how you do it. Yeah, that's how it goes down. Mikey's Morg points out John Doe. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier with Patrick. He knows what's up. As creepy as Lily Tomlin and John Travolta in a moment. She's moving fast. She is moving fast. That's what I'm saying. Like, can we have a little bit of romance? What's up with foreplay? Can we say nice things to each other? Maybe a little oral back and forth, maybe some heavy touching. No, it's immediately just grab my dong. Easy, doc. I understand you're busy, but God, take your time. Stay hard, stay heavy, some metal. So now here we see Kelly Lynch's ass. Pretty much the same way we saw Patrick's before, just the fleeting glimpse as it walks away. He's got a weird like fetish for Brad Wesley. Like he's always kind of staring at him from far away. Like even here after sex, he goes out and sits on the roof and looks across the pond at him. It's like you got a naked lady in your bed. Why are you worried about Ben Gazzara? I loved him in Gandhi. Oh, Pugwall on the way out the door. I just came by to say hi. I've never seen Roadhouse, but I'm for watching it now. Hi, everyone in the chat. I hope you're doing well. If you don't know my friend Matt, Pugwall316, he is a fantastic dude. I'm a frequent collaborator with him. He real good guy, funny, cool channel, always doing a nice mixture of throwback and new kind of memey fun stuff. There's always something cool going on his channel. He recently put out, he had sold his physical media and then regretted it and kind of went back and bought some stuff. and he did a video about what he reacquired, and it was really interesting. So yeah, be sure to check out our buddy Matt Pugwall316. We're gonna for sure drain his main vein, right? They're both just laying naked on the roof. In real life, you'd probably crash through because you wouldn't build that roof to code, But no, strong enough to hold Patrick Swayze and Kelly Lynch. Actually, looking at the two of them, they probably couldn't weigh more than 250 combined. Roadhouse has nudity for both men and women. It was way ahead of its time. Yeah, the movie itself knows what it's built on. It's like, this is all about punching people, just like badass cowboy badassery. And then every now and then just mix in some like sex and nudity and some cool kind of Motown music, which makes sense for this setting. It should be more like country, but I guess Jeff Healey plays like whatever, like bluegrass type thing or whatever, soulful guitar. I totally agree. A nice romantic moment is always a good start between two characters who like each other. Well, that's what I mean. You kind of want to build up to it. I mean, the passionate sex is great and all. I feel like that's a thing that maybe you should have like the third time you have sex, or maybe the second time you have sex. But the first time, let's take our time here. Round two. Yeah, that's when they were getting it out on the roof. Oh, Mikey, my man. So here we have the here Patrick Swayze comes into work and sits down and has a conversation with Jeff Healey. And Jeff Healey explains Kelly Lynch's backstory because, the blind guitarist is in on all the town's gossip. I got nothing to do than to listen to everybody's secrets. Yeah, here comes Sam Elliott riding up on his motorcycle with the great hair and the cool sunglasses. Isn't this where the fight breaks out in back? And then he kicks that guy in the knee and he's like, it hurts like a bitch, don't it? The double douche. Man, he's got killer neck beard. You got to give it to Sam Elliott. He always has the best facial hair. He even makes neck beard look good there. That guy's... Nobody out facial hair is Sam Elliott. Who's the giant guy? Now the bad guys roll up with Tinker and the dude that looks like he can't fight but apparently can, Terry Funk. And then they got some big like 6'5" Herman Munster looking mug. He's probably like 6'8". That dude's huge. He's bigger than the truck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Patrick Swayze just beat up 4 guys. Oh, the big guy's only there to destroy the liquor. Yeah, that dude's got to be probably 6'10". He's huge. I'm just going to keep making him bigger. By the time this scene's over, he's going to be 7'9". There's David Keith. He's so cool. Never touch another man's fries. Is the music Dalton was talking to blind or high? I imagine probably both. You know what I mean? He plays guitar so well. The idea that he doesn't partake in the reefer like the jazz hipsters do, Ringo and his all-star band is great music. For blind, a Canadian icon, wasn't born blind. Oh, there it is. Now, damn, that hurts, doesn't it? As he pulls his hair out of his face. We talked last night about the Joseph Campbell, the hero with 1,000 faces and the hero's journey kind of thing, and how they all sort of follow the cycle, and there are different beats that we recognize for a classic hero. It was later incorporated by George Lucas and Tolkien and C.S. Lewis and all these famous authors. They sort of follow this hero with 1,000 faces kind of thing. And one of the things that our hero often has is a mentor who dies. So, as soon as as soon as Sam Elliott shows up, we kind of know like, oh, this is his Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, except in this one, the mentor doesn't get resurrected. That's usually a common theme is Obi-Wan Kenobi comes back from the dead or Gandalf comes back from the dead. Usually we have to resurrect the mentor so the hero of the story can explain his thoughts or her thoughts. I don't mean to be sexist with my heroes. Oh, where are we at here? Oh, yeah, Professor wasn't aware of the Jeff Healey. Yeah, Jeff Healey, like I say, he's a cool guy. I'm sure he must have sold a bunch of albums. I wonder if he's still out and about. Is he still with us, Jeff Healey? I'm sure he must be. It would be sad if I found out he passed away. Jazz guitarist. Oh, he died at age 41 in 2008. What a bummer. Yeah, he was born in Toronto, Canada. Russell knew. There's a documentary called See the Light, the Jeff Healey story. So be sure to check that out. You can listen to him everywhere. Spotify. He was in the Jeff Healey band. And his parents are Bud and Yvonne Healey. Mm-hmm. And of course, we got to have Patrick Swayze and Kelly Lynch. They go out on like a three-way date with Sam Elliott. You got to meet my drunk friend. He's the coolest. And then here's Sam Elliott's hitting on his woman. You just got into town, and now you're macking on my woman? Can you chill out with your silver fox charm, you furry bastard? No, I cannot. Look at this neck beard. Women need me. Let's see here. He plays on his lap so he can use his thumb. That's how he got his sound. That I was not aware of. I knew he played on his lap. I assumed it was probably just that's how he learned because of his impairment. But yeah, the thumb thing, that makes sense. That's kind of cool. Russell says that Jeff Healey is a great doc. So if you're a fan of Jeff Healey's music, he's kind of stolen the show in this episode, our fascination with him. This is all about Patrick Swayze's clothes, Sam Elliott's hair, Jeff Healey's music. And then how strange that is that Kelly Lynch and Patrick Swayze look as much alike as they do, because it's sort of still disturbing me. See, now his best friend tells him that gal's got entirely too many brains to have an ass like that. Hey, man, I realize we're good friends, but could you not? All right, that's my lady friend. We were just having sex on an awning like 5 minutes ago. Can you show a little respect? Am I the only guy who doesn't think Kelly Lynch is attractive? I could see how people don't. I think she's got that 80s blonde tan thing going on, but she's very thin. Some people don't like that. I'm fine with it. She's pretty. I'm more actually kind of attracted to the fact that she's the character she is. Like, I like that she's a doctor. I like that she's a nice girl, even though she grabs dong before kissing. So yeah, she got a bad side to her. Russell says that his music vids on YouTube. I imagine so. And then here's when the mentor explains to him, man, you gotta be ready to get the hell out of town. Quit being so attached to everybody. Are you prepared to do what it takes when somebody sticks a gun in your face? Like, it got real serious real quick. So she's been out drinking with the fellas all night till the sun comes up. And then she's going to go home and get a few hours sleep and then go be an emergency room doctor. So hopefully no one needs emergency open heart surgery or anything. Grabs dong before kissing. That's what I'm saying. She does, man. You gotta pace these things out, man. If you're unzipping my pants before our lips have touched, you're moving too fast. Makes me wonder what you've been doing before I got to you. Sheesh. Why doesn't Sam Elliott hit on Denise? That would have made me happy. Let's not rewrite. Sam Elliott doesn't die. He lives happily ever after with Denise. I'd like to watch that sequel. Screw you, Jonathan Sheck. Okay, so now not only has the Double Deuce been completely renovated and it's totally successful within a week or two, it's now twice as big. Like, somehow this building has now been completely, they put on an addition? I don't know. Oh, the Napa store is on fire. Everything in this town is a window away. Like, you can see anything in town by just going to a window and raising the blinds. Like, yep. Villains are up to being bad again. We talked about this with RoboCop last night. RoboCop has that scene where the gas station blows up and RoboCop slowly does the robot away, walks away. And after that scene, like every movie for like the next 20 years has a guy in front of a giant explosion. So here the Napa store blew up and Patrick Swayze had to coolly run away from it. Not a hair out of place. That's my way of thinking. I get all the rest I need when I'm dead. The girl who saw his naked butt is cute. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. The friend-zoned girl. What was her name? Kathleen Wilhoit. She plays Carrie in this. What else has she been in? She turns up in a lot of stuff. She's a character actress. She's known for The Edge, Roadhouse, Murphy's Law, Fire in the Sky. Fire in the Sky is good if you haven't seen that. The Travis Walter story or whatever, the guy, the space alien abduction deal. She has 133 acting credits, so she's a working actress. Lots of TV, Gilmore Girls, Boston League, Amy, Boomtown. Let's see, man, she's done a lot of work. ER, 24. Whew, she works. Ally McBeal, The Edge, Perversions of Science, Crisis Center, Tales of Erotica. She's in Tales of Erotica as Jolene Wolfe in the segment titled Wet. Yeah, that's way too much. We've gone too far. So here, old girl Denise is doing her strip tease. Julie Michaels is her name. Yeah, she's doing the strip tease in the pink dress. I've never understood why. Like everybody's kind of shook up because the Napa store next door just blew up and the fire department tried to put it out. And then the bad guys just kind of come into the bar and take over. And the bad guy's love interest just starts doing a striptease and flirting with all the men in the bar. It's like, it kind of makes no sense. I mean, it works. It's working. But he calls her over and he's like, come on, get off the stage. And then she walks over to him and then turns around and starts taking off her clothes. And he does the... Oh, Patrick Swayze, you're too cool for school. So yeah, Jeff Healey doesn't know that she's doing a striptease. He just sort of senses it and starts playing I'm Your Hoochie Coochie Man. Yeah, I'm feeling totally different about how naked she is here now that I know that she's only like 18 when she made this. She's already kissed Dalton. She's ahead of the doctor. She's so proud of herself. I got naked. We're all proud of you too. David Keith is proud. You can see him in the background with his glasses on, like, Oh, here comes old buddy with the Canadian tuxedo and the big open shirt with the shark tooth necklace. That's my guy. Looking everybody up and down with his big square jaw, looking like Henry Cavill's older brother. Look at your big earring. Like, what are you, fighting a vampire? Looks absurd. You look like Barry Bonds. What's my man's name? Marshall Teague. How many movies has Marshall Teague been in? Man, he aged crazily. I'm one to talk. He looks like me, but he's got a denim shirt on in his IMDb profile pic. Marshall Teague was Colonel Davis in Armageddon. He obviously was in Roadhouse. He has 115 acting credits with 7 movies coming out like in post-production. So he works. All these people work. Sheesh. No one and dones except for Rowdy Herrington. Baywatch, MacGyver, Columbo, Quantum Leap, Who's the Boss, the Werewolf TV show, Hunter, First and 10. Yeah, dude works. Dude works. So here he's beating the hell up out of every one of the bouncers because, see, they're the bouncers and Patrick Swayze's the cooler. That was totally pointless. He beat up all the henchmen, all the bouncers. Marshall Teague did, the bad guy with the shark tooth necklace. And then he sticks the pool cue like next to the big guy's belly, and he does like a pole vault flip onto the stage. And then he does the Bruce Lee like hand signal to Sam Elliott. And then the second he gets on the stage and does that, he then hops down and gets for no reason. Like it was a completely pointless exercise. But he was beating the hell out of Sam Elliott, though. Kevin Teague's impressed. Teague. Brad Wesley just fired a gun into the air. You're not allowed to discharge a weapon in public, especially when we just had this place renovated. You better not have hit one of the new signs. Oh, let's see here. No, not red. All his fireworks for the big new 4th of July sale exploded. I didn't know she could sing. Darth Maul moment. Yeah, exactly. It was a Darth moment. Behave yourselves. That a boy Macabro. Tying it back to last night. So now the town is having a meeting about what the heck they're going to do about this evil villain as Brad Wesley. And of course, Kelly Lynch is there. Quick, call the emergency room, doctor. Man, that's a lot of the valance budget in this movie. Like the poofy peach valances and curtains, that alone is $1 million. Russell says he just saw Quest for Fire with Ron Perlman and Everett McGill from Silver Bullet. Yeah, I remember that movie, that the story of cavemen. Been a while since I've seen that one. I often confuse it with Clan of the Cave Bear with Daryl Hannah. So they've been on 2 dates, and she already lets him drive her Jeep. The sexism is rampant in this town. And they got Jeff Healey in the back. Let him drive. Then I'll be impressed. And Ben Gazzara has now pitched a 3rd character on the cheek. That's his thing. That's his bad guy affectation. Now they're going to drive over. They're going to drive over all the cars in town. And completely destroy the Ford lot. Here goes one family truckster. There goes another family truckster. There goes a third family truckster, and a fourth, and a fifth. So yeah, the budget is all spent on valances and wood paneled station wagons and shark tooth necklaces. The bad guys are dorks. Like the bad guys, they drove over the whole Ford dealership with the Bigfoot monster truck, and the bad guys were like, "Yeah!" and they high-fived. What are you guys happy there's Sunny D in the fridge? Quit being such dorks. You know, ride your skateboards here. Kelly Lynch is just disgusted by Ben Gazzara's his dastardly deeds. That used car salesman wants to hit Brad Wesley so bad. There's Terry Funk and John Doe cracking up and patting each other on the back. Like I said, the bad guys are dorks in this. You guys used to be so cool. And then we cut back to Patrick Swayze, and he's set up the barn to have like a dojo in it. So he's got like a rope climbing thing, and he's got like a board with a bunch of pads on it to punch. He's got his hands all typed up. I think this same exact scene is in Youngblood. Matter of fact, this might just be Youngblood. They just cut the Youngblood stuff in here. Want to go, pretty boy? Youngblood has a scene where they take a coffee cup or a coffee can and they fill it with cement, and then they put a rope in it, and then they have the little stick at the top of the rope, and you see them like twirling it to the string around the stick to pull the concrete coffee can up. So it's like a homemade weight system. And Youngblood makes that look like it's the most like it. Nothing will make your forearms bigger than that. Youngblood also had me believe that Rob Lowe was the world's best hockey player too. So it's amazing filmmaking. So here's Sam Elliott's trying to explain to Patrick Swayze, let's just leave, man. And how tough could Patrick Swayze be if he threw a punch and Sam Elliott just caught it? Like a friggin' baseball, he just grabbed his punch. Like, that's the baddest thing in this whole movie. That's tougher than ripping somebody's throat out. I think this movie was originally called Throat House, but people thought it was something else, so they had to change it to Roadhouse. Let's see what's going on with the chat. Oh, how much power does this fucker have? And everyone is scared of him. That's the thing. He must own the police. All right, we don't see. Only Gravedigger can save us now. Tommy Dong Turner, Ray Don Chong is in it, nude throughout the whole thing. Oh, and the Quest for Fire, or is that Clan of the Cave Bear? I get them confused. Hellboy, yeah, Ron Perlman's pretty awesome. Love Youngblood with Ron Blow, and the girls sit to see his bare butt. Part Canadian film in Ontario. Yeah, Russell always knows the Canadian lineage of these movies. Now Kelly Lynch is totally dressed like a dude. And she just shows up and starts yelling at people. Russell says Blade 2. Yeah, Ron Perlman's awesome and everything. So now here, once again, another building blows up thanks to Brad Wesley. He sets the old man's farmhouse on fire. And Kelly Lynch takes this long to run over there? Everybody be dead. You're a terrible doctor. And there's Swayze does the fireman's carry of the old farmer. Another scene of someone running away from an exploding building. Y'all need to write RoboCop and Robert Rodriguez checks. Explosions. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with this movie. They know the pacing. Like, we start off, we got some fights and a few knives, stabbings and stuff. And then we're going to mix in some boobs. And then we're going to have some more fights. And then we're going to destroy some vehicles. And then we're going to destroy some property. And then we're going to blow some shit up. And then we're going to start ripping throats out. Like, they're so smart. So now the bad guy's just running around on the property on a dirt bike because that's the appropriate. Oh, that's right. I forgot. He like clotheslines him off this dirt bike, right? Like he just runs and tackles him. And then these two just get into a kung fu fight. You're two white guys in Missouri, right? You're allowed to just box or wrestle. Patrick Swayze has his shirt off. Why don't you two wrestle for a while? Yeah, everybody in this movie knows kung fu. That was a choreographed punch if I've ever seen one. Oh, he did the monkey flip. Used to be one of my favorite moves. We were talking about wrestling earlier. The monkey flip is always roll on your back and flip somebody over with your feet. Macabro says, no, not old saint old man. Yeah, exactly. That the old man character, Macabro, and I love these characters that movies have where they're flawless. They just make them like great people. Like the bartender we were talking about earlier, the Kathleen Bilhoid or whatever. She's a saint bartender. Like, movies need to have some characters that have done no wrong and everyone likes. So when something happens to them, like we're like, you wouldn't. And that's how they did with this old man here. They have him cool as hell and treat Patrick Swayze all nice. And he totally tolerates everything and he's real easygoing. So, of course, we have to blow up his house. He has no faults. That's a funny line to mix in there. The bad guy's got him in like Patrick Swayze in like a messed up chokehold and he's pulling him by the face. And he's like, I used to fuck guys like you in prison. All right. Who wrote that? Jerry, did you do a rewrite? Why is this in here? Suddenly there's like a fog machine. Like they're having this fight next to the lake and the steam from the lake is just pouring off it. But every time they cut to like a wide shot that's like a close up because it's the widescreen format, there's just nothing but like fog bokeh behind them. So everybody looks like they've just got done coming from a fireworks explosion or a Cypress Hill concert. Let's see here. Let's get back to the chat. What movie are you talking about? Russell and Ray Dong Chong is nude. Yeah, of course he wants to know. She was in Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. She was also in Far Out Man, and she's also in Soul Man. Oh, there it is. The throat ripped out, and it looks like something from Hustler magazine. Yeesh. The old guy was Santa Claus, has a beard and red PJs on, so maybe. Christmas is canceled this year, kids. That's a good reference from Youngblood. Oh boy, here it comes. This part always did rub me the wrong way, but it's pretty true. It's one of the more realistic, emotional beats in the movie where he rips the bad guy's throat out, and then the doctor runs over and tries to save the throat ripped out guy. And then she's so mad that Patrick Swayze murdered someone in front of her. She's like, I'm leaving. And then he's like, where are you going? Like, come on. Like, you've never murdered anybody. I don't know why my justification of murder voice is the scratchy voice, but I feel like it's just more. That's a cool shot. The bad guy's body just floating on top of the lake. Like they really do a Viking funeral for him. Like, farewell, shark tooth necklace guy. Quest for Fire is on YouTube. I bet Quest for Fire is probably everywhere. I don't know where I saw that last. I think I saw it last on like afternoon cable in the 90s. I haven't hunted out Quest for Fire since. Is that the Die Hard theme? Yeah, I do remember the soundtrack is or the score, I should say, is derivative at least. So Dalton's having a rough day. The guy whose house he lives at had his home blown up. He had to murder someone. His woman left him. I mean, you're like a dead dog away from a country song here. And here Ben Gazzara has his Joker moment. He tells Patrick Swayze, "You're Sam Elliott or Kelly Lynch?" And then he flips a coin and he's like, "Huh. All right." And then he hangs up the phone. So it's like, yeah, like a Two-Face kind of deal where now we have to wonder who's going to die. And in stumbles Sam Elliott covered in blood. "Hey, mijo. See, you got that stupid karate gi shirt on. You know buttons were made for a reason, right?" "Okay, just checking." Sam Elliott's, yeah, he's bigger than Patrick Swayze in this, like muscular-wise, shoulders and delts and stuff, or shoulders and delts, biceps and all that stuff. Like he's bigger. He's a stronger dude than Swayze. But I believe around this time is when Patrick Swayze was People Magazine's sexiest man alive or whatever. Around Dirty Dancing, yeah, he could just write his own ticket on anything. Let's see what's up with the fellas. Is that fatality? Yeah, exactly. That is totally a Mortal Kombat moment. Gaping wound. Looks like an axe wound in his neck. And then the doctor's just back at work looking at x-rays. Like, you watched a murder. Like, I got to go to work. I have x-rays to look at. And the x-rays make no sense. Like, one's a tailbone, one's some intestines, one's a lung. Did you have someone who had their entire body destroyed in a steamroller accident or something? Why would you need all those in x-rays? Why would you need my college history and my medical reports? I have a lot of questions about this doctor. And there we see Patrick's beautiful Mercedes. Which gives us the hint that he's leaving. You know, he would be driving his junk car if he was still coming to work, but he's going to corral Sam Elliott and say, "Let's get out of here. Me and my stupid kung fu karate gi shirt." And here's Sam Elliott sleeping on the bar, and he walks over and he rolls him over, and there's a big knife in his chest. And Patrick Swayze does he even cry? Okay, he's starting to. He's got like the sniffles. Like I used to get when I was a little kid, and I'd try not to cry because it was embarrassing. Like, so take the knife out of his chest, call your evil ass brother, and wreck this town. 2 Swayzes, no waiting. Double deuce, double dragon. So you just pulled the murder weapon out of someone's chest and then just carried it with your fingerprints all over it out to your car. I mean, we've established this town has no police presence, but for God's sakes, man, don't ever do that. Speaking of things never to do, John Doe, the bad guy bartender punk rocker, is scratching his back with a shotgun. You realize there's a big pump on it, right? Man, he looks like Bill Paxton. But I love John Doe when he's shooting the shotgun. He's like tapping his leg, like he's keeping rhythm with the shots. So you can tell like it's almost like he's performing on stage. It's kind of awesome. Exploding car. Wow, boy, did it too. They shot it while it was in the air and it exploded into this huge like fireball. Was there like dynamite in the trunk? I'm going to fill the back seat with nitroglycerin and I'm just going to drive it directly at the bad guy's house. And now the dummy bad guys have grabbed the murder weapon. Everybody trying to touch the murder weapon in this movie. How many fingerprints can we have to confuse the forensic science people? But we're building our way to the climax now. This is where Patrick Swayze invades the bad guy's house. This is a real final act of a video game kind of thing. And this is super ninja movie stuff here where we know Patrick Swayze is on the loose and we follow one of the bad guys around and he just keeps finding like his partners, his cohorts in crime, knocked out or beat up or whatever. So we see Patrick Swayze is already there, slowly wrecking shop and quiet. Like I say, ninja movie stuff. It's real Sho Kosugi action. Two men in tucked in shirts and their tight jeans having a kung fu fight. Somebody's crotch has to rip. And there Patrick Swayze has murdered another person. And another person. So whether or not Terry Funk was dead when we saw his body outside, the body count may be up to about 6 now. So yeah, Patrick's just wrecking shop. Ben Gazzara isn't tripping at all that there's just blood all over his hardwood floors. He's rich enough to get that fixed. He's not worried. Let's see what's going on with my friends in the chat. Russell says it's 4:15 a.m. Still early. Yeah, it's 3:24 here. There is 10 minutes and 12 seconds left in the max presentation countdown. So I'm assuming probably like 6 before credits, maybe. So we're working it down. Killed a guy, threw a fit, mentor dead. Dalton really got out of bed on his left foot. One of those days. Oh, here it is. A polar bear fell on me. That's a strange way to end this movie when they're like, what happened to you? And he's like, polar bear fell on me. And then everybody just kind of like, we couldn't write a better line than that. I mean, so Ben Gazzara tells Patrick Swayze, he goes into his game room with all these taxidermied animals up on the wall and stuff. And he's like, quite a collection. The only thing missing is your ass. That would be the coolest thing ever if Patrick Swayze's perfect hairless ass was up on the wall, just right next to a deer head. Even Ben Gazzara laughed at Tinker being trapped under the polar bear. No one has any sympathy for poor Tinker. Seems like such a fun fella. It's only the bad guy who lives. I thought he said, "Hey, meat hole," when I was a kid. Yeah, Sam Elliott is impossible to understand in this movie. Yeah, mijo. I figured out what that was later when I took high school Spanish. And then when I was watching Sin City with, what's her name? Devin, I can't think of her name. The model turned actress who plays Miho in the Sin City. She's like the ninja with like the swastika Chinese star kind of thing, or shuriken, I should say. But this movie, so we're supposed to believe that Ben Gazzara can kick Patrick Swayze's ass? Like, I don't know. I don't believe it. I wasn't buying the guy with the bald spot. I'm not buying Ben Gazzara. Salmon Ghost Rider, I always liked. Yeah, Ben Gazzara's like got the upper hand. Oh, and he did the knee kick that Sam Elliott tells him it hurts, don't it? He's not only fighting with tight jeans and a tucked in shirt like a karate gi, he's also wearing a really tight watch. I think it might be a Rolex. Even Ric Flair knew, take off the Rolex before you get in a fight. Like, that's just part of it. I'm not trying to get a $15,000 watch in 1980s money broken. So here, our hero learns his lesson after murdering the bad guy. The doctor explained to him, like, don't be a murderer. You're better than that. So he's getting ready to rip Ben Gazzara's throat out, and he decides, you know what? I'm better than that. You're right, Doc. And then Ben Gazzara is, of course, a dishonorable bad guy. So he's going to grab a gun and try to kill him. And then the whole town just opens fire on him from every direction. We see all the people who've had their lives ruined by Brad Wesley, Santa Claus Farmer, Kevin Tighe, straight off his job from Emergency, Dalton, or Red, what the hell was his name? I already forgot what it's called. Red Webster is his name in the movie. So now the doctor and Tinker and Patrick Swayze have all witnessed murders. And the police finally show up. This entire damn movie, and now the police finally show up. Where were you 6 explosions ago? I'm sorry, there's only one cop in town, and he had that day off, so. The police run in, and there's 2 uniformed officers, and then one what appears to be a detective. So their police department appears to be big enough to be handling Brad Wesley. Maybe that's why they came, because they're Brad Wesley's goons. So they don't respond to any other crimes unless it takes place at the Wesley Manor. You see anything, Tinker? Polar bear fell on me. And then everybody just has a hearty belly laugh at how absurd that is. It's like, that's what happened. How dare you doubt my man Tinker? And then we cut back to Jeff Healey putting on a concert, because Jeff Healey ties this movie together like a pair of shoelaces. Anytime anything gets boring or we don't know what to do next, just show Jeff Healey rocking out. It's our totem. It's like Inception. And everybody's been murdered, and there's been a whole bunch of destruction, and we're all on trial in a couple months. But let's go skinny dipping. Put some clothes on, you two. Hey, the doctor managed to kiss without grabbing dong first. You fast-moving ass. And the movie fades to black on the 2 of them making out in the pond as we see Jeff Healey rocking out. In order: Patrick Swayze, Kelly Lynch, Sam Elliott, Ben Gazzara, Marshall Teague, Julie Michaels, Red West, Sunshine Parker. Who played Tinker? That's all I want to know. Who played Tinker? Tinker was John Young. Good for him. You stole the movie, Tinker. You and Jeff Healey. So yeah, the credits just roll as back behind it. I don't know what I like better. I think I like when movies go to black and we see the credits, because with stuff going on behind the credits, it's distracting. But I think it also makes people stay in the theater longer or watch till the end and they see the credits. So I'm torn, which I like best. But either way, that was Die Hard. It is 3:30, or Die Hard, Jesus Christ. I'm Die Hard. This is Roadhouse at 3:31 in the morning, Central Time, 4:30 a.m. Eastern, 2:30 a.m. for our friend in Arizona there. Let's see what we got going on in the chat as we get out of here. Brittany says, oh man, that's so brutal. Brittany, thank you for joining us tonight. You were a fun addition. It's always nice when we have somebody new added to the stew. So you were fun. You're welcome anytime. I'm glad you're here. I'll be sure to check out your channel as soon as I get off here. I like Salmon, Frogs, and Mask. Yeah, Mask he's really good in. I always I don't have any kids, so a lot of my relationships with kids are like friends' kids. And I always think of Sam Elliott as like a way to act around children. It's like, just be cool. That's all you need. Just be their friend. Be the cool biker like Sam Elliott. Mikey's Morgue is cracking up. Mask is great. Eric Stoltz, yeah. Sam Elliott shall return as Cowboy Ghost Rider. Let's see here. She could suck start a Harley. Yeah, exactly. And Kara's here, and Oscar. Good morning, you two. 3:30 a.m. Yeah, 4:30 probably her time. So once again, we're moving into the daylight hours in our various viewing locations. Shotgun Dude looks like one of those guys from Hot Fuzz. True. I used to be a punker, but I'm all right now. Yeah, I was one as well in the 80s. No, not Terry Funk. Yeah, exactly. They don't really say if he's alive or dead, but it sure seemed to me like he was probably dead since Patrick Swayze killed everybody else. Folks are welcoming Kara. She's a crowd favorite. Swayze wants to get that stealth kill bonus, man. Kara says she hates when she gets blood stain on the hardwood floors, right? Because it's like, you saw Karate Kid. You got to like go... you can't do circles, otherwise you're just going to rub it into the hardwood and it's going to get in the little cracks in between. You got to go. It's good for the rear delt. The Swayze Express Train and Trailer Park Boys. So is he going to kill Dalton and mount his ass? I never even thought of it that way. I'm going to mount your ass. Oh my goodness. But yeah, the whole I still like the idea of Patrick Swayze's just hairless butt up on the wall with the monkeys and the llamas and stuff. I bet he has a xenomorph skull in that trophy room. I bet he does. And that was Roadhouse. What an awesome movie. Like I say, it's about as comfort food could get. You don't really have to think at all. It just unfolds before you, and it's nothing but awesomeness over and over. And when it's not awesome, it's nudity. So, and explosions. What else could I ask for? Ringo and Barbara now, Stevie Wonder, Jamie Foxx was great, and Ray. I have the DVD. After hearing Russell's facts about Jeff, more mad respect for him. Yeah, like I say, he steals this movie. He really is kind of the glue that ties the scenes together. Anytime you're watching, we just had an explosion and a bunch of people get beat up. Quick cut to Jeff Healey jamming out. He died too young. I agree. Tinker is still alive. A lot of people are dead in this movie now, though. Exactly. Brittany's in the gang. Yeah, she is. We're jumping her in. You're part of the clique, Brittany. Good for you. You're part of the new, you're part of the Night Owls. Congratulations. Thank you. This was fun. We're glad to have you. Kal-El was here. Thank you for dropping by, buddy. He's Swayze. We're all getting ready to be Swayze now. It's 3:35. We're wrapping it up. She says she will definitely join again. Please do. You are a welcome addition. I enjoyed your contributions, and the folks in the chat love you. So you are welcome here anytime. Oh, Mikey just subbed Brittany. Good. I like when my friends get followers and my friends meet each other. That's cool. And Russell did too. So look at that. We're building each other up. I like this. She's happy to be part of the gang, and we're happy to have you. So, 3:36. The credits are over. It's recommending, if you watch Roadhouse, the you may also like is Walking Tall with The Rock. Of course it is, because it's basically the same plot. It's like guy comes to town and just beats the crap out of everybody. Ghost and Major League. Why Major League? That's a weird one. And then the Red Dawn original, even though for some reason the picture looks like Red Dawn remake. Weird. The Red Dawn original makes sense because Swayze's in that. So, but let's see here. Cal Daly says no fuss, Russ, shaking people out. I think I'm sub Brittany, but I'll double check. Yeah, I got to check Brittany's channel and see if she's new to me as well. Thank you, Russell. So yeah, I appreciate you all joining me. This was a little bit later than usual. I was going to start at midnight tonight, but I ate some McDonald's late and had to take a nap. Man, nothing like a triple cheeseburger to make me fall asleep for a half hour. But yeah, that was Roadhouse, the classic bouncer for hire epic, starring Patrick Swayze, directed by Rowdy Herrington. I thank you, dear viewer and listener of the podcast. Drink anytime we mention the podcast, or Gareth. Thank you for hanging out, friends. Professor says, great stream. He's got to go drain the main vein. Hey, don't eat the big white mint, okay? Later, everyone. Have a great weekend. Take care, everyone, and good evening. All right. I thank you all, my friends. You guys all rule. You make this complete. You are the wind beneath my wings, as Bette Midler says. And just remember, pain don't hurt, and green grass and high tides forever. Adios, mijos.